Pakistan is coming out of a program which has remained incomplete. As you know, the 9th review did not get completed, and so we had to move into a new program, which is a standby arrangement for 9 months. The important aspect to remember is that during the life of the last program, of course, there was a trust deficit between the government of Pakistan and the IMF on a number of issues, whether it was doing the budget, whether it was on the petroleum subsidies, whether it was how to manage the market-based exchange rate mechanism, whether it was, the delays in the energy price changes, built up of circular debt. So all in all, the program ran into trouble and could not be completed. In this kind of an atmosphere, and with an electoral cycle in the offing sometime in August, where the current government, which is a political government, would sign the SBA, get a board approval, but then the program would be handled through an interim setup, and lastly the program would be handled through a new political setup, which probably would need to then change that into an extended fund facility. As presently where the country stands with the kind of gross dollar financing needs running at about $23 to $25 billion for FY24 and the next 2 years, it is difficult to be able to put this money together without an IMF umbrella, and especially you'll need another $6 billion a year to fund the current account deficit. So I think the IMF at this stage, to build more confidence for the kind of reforms they would want to do, to kind of sell a better narrative to the people of Pakistan, has made a gesture to see the key political parties after PMLN, which of course decided on the program being in the PDM government. They saw the political party, which is the next big political party and has an economic team. So they met the PPP, and lastly they met the PTI as well, which is kind of the current opposition party, and this could help get everyone on board, something which is needed to sail Pakistan through the very, very severe economic challenge that Pakistan is facing. In this way, probably the opposition to the program would be minimal, and the narrative would be easier to sell to the people of Pakistan. So given all these things that we've discussed, it was probably a gesture that they would have done anyway, but would not have been that noticed. But this time it was more noticeable, and it was more potent to hope that the current SBA that we have signed is going to be completed, as Pakistan probably would find it difficult to sail through without completion of the new SBA. Pakistan is usually in the last few programs that we've done signed onto a program when the political cycle was beginning. So there has been more of a need to engage with the government of the time, and not so much with the opposition party or the other key stakeholders. I think this time it's different. We are going to be in an interim setup and then a new political setup. So that's one of the reasons that there has been engagement. I think in the past, when Pakistan probably signed the 1994 program, which was an interim kind of a setup that was there, which signed the program with the fund, probably there was more consultation, and the same has been done this time. So considering this aspect, that it is in the last month and a half of an outgoing program that we have signed a new standby arrangement, it has been the case where there has been more engagement by the IMF with all the key political parties. Usually what I've seen and observed is that IMF does engage with an array of people, including policy makers who are not with the government, senior finance and economic people, and the opposition parties, just to apprise them of the program that a country is working through with the IMF. This time, of course, considering the severity of the challenge, it may be that IMF felt the need to carry these reforms through. It would be a better idea to engage more forcefully with the other parties in the coalition, as well as the opposition.